You guys ever like want to do a video, you get in, you're getting all ready, and you just cannot think of an intro. And I'm getting tired of doing my old intro. Hey, Steve was a primo. Welcome to another video. This is what we're talking about today. Da, 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 da. It's just I want to sit down and start talking like the old school way of doing things, me in front of a camera, like back to my roots. I got all these videos and stuff. I got video footage I've recorded from games and everything of wanting to talk about certain stuff I've been playing over this Halloween season. And just doing the editing and everything for all that is just such a pain. I know that kind of stuff, high production, draws bigger views and everything, but it's just not in me. I cannot devote the time to be able to do that stuff. So I'm doing it old school, camera, talking about experiences in gaming. And today we're going to be talking about the experiences with the Portland Retro Gaming Expo 2023 that I just had. So let's go. All right, so in this video, what I'm going to talk about first, I'll get out the way, is the games I picked up, because it's going to be a little bit of story time. I want to tell you about my thoughts on the conventions. Are there things to do anymore to find deals and stuff on games? My thoughts of Portland while I was over there, and all that stuff. So I'll get the games out the way first. So if you don't want to hear story time with me, you don't have to. And sorry if I keep like squinting my eyes because I got my key light blinding me. I don't know how people do this with lights. With the production, like I said, I have lighting and everything still looks fuzzy and grainy. I'll never understand it. Anyways, as I was saying, we'll show the games first and story time later. But first, just getting back into the convention scene. Like, ever since moving out here to the West Coast, like, I gotta go to Portland Retro Gaming Expo. Wasn't able to last year, but bam, was finally able to go this year. It's been a long time since I was able to attend a convention of this size, this magnitude. Since I don't know if it was 2017, 2018, somewhere around in there, the last time I was able to go to a convention of this size. And I was actually watching back the footage of 2015 Too Many Games Expo that I went with Alex Return to Mother Base and Dustin Christ, and just hearing about the pickups I got from that and the games that I passed on. Shadow Tower at 45 bucks, complete in box, beautiful copy. That's now like a $250, $300 game. It's just crazy how like prices have increased on certain amount of things. But anyways, first thing first, I'll get out the way. We'll show the pickups, then we'll get into story time. So we're going to start off with some Xbox 360 stuff. I went into the convention with the goal. I had a list of Xbox 360 stuff that I wanted for the collection, most of them exclusives, before the marketplace shuts down and prices start jumping up like crazy. Go ahead and get some of these things out the way. But I'll show you what I was able to find, and you're going to see I had a pretty good budget to go in with, and I had a huge stack of trades. I'll kind of save that for story time. But it'll look like a lot of stuff, but to me it's not really. I wanted to leave with a lot more, but again, story time. All right, starting off, Project Sylphid, Xbox 360, really cool, like just spaceship fighting game, going out on missions and stuff. I really enjoyed it when I had it the first time, before I sold all my 360 stuff. 99 Nights, one of the exclusives. Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle-earth 2. The Last Remnant. Front Mission Evolved, since I was on a mech hype ever since Armored Core coming back out and everything. Clive Barker's Jericho. These last two were on a whim just for it being Halloween season and all. And Alone in the Dark. So all those 360 games going to the 360 collection. All were okay prices. Again, we'll wait for story time to get into that. All right, next up, the other goals. Of course, like everyone and their mother, going for a complete GameCube, and I'm also going for a complete Wii U collection. And funny enough, with Wii U stuff, it seems it's got like one of the least amount of games to try to collect for. But anytime you go to anything and look for games, they all had the same stuff: Splatoons, Smash Brothers, Mario Kart, all the Lego games, Nintendo Lands. They don't have like the odd and end stuff that's not really expensive. No one has it. Like, and the selection for Wii U man, I think the largest vendor maybe had like 22 games between that 20-25 game range. Other than that, it was hard to find any Wii U stuff. So hey, be on the lookout, because if that's anything of signs to come, even though it wasn't the most well looked upon system, those games might be starting to shoot up. So the one Wii U game I was actually able to find for my collection that I needed was Batman Arkham City, the Armored Edition. And the vendor I had actually gotten this from said it's his favorite version of it to play. I guess with the interaction with the Wii U gamepad and all, it really makes for a better experience or whatever. I really enjoyed my time with it on the 360 when I played through it the first time. One of the greatest games, open world action adventure games you can ever play, and I can't wait to play it again. I've been itching to play through them again. Alright, next we have some GameCube stuff that I needed for the collection, and some of them are actually repeat buys. Like I said, I had a big stash of trade goods and trade fodder that I've gotten through my summer of garage sales, and that'll be the next video coming out to kind of give you guys a recap on how my summer garage sale hunting experience went. And let me tell you, it was far beyond anything I could imagine of how well garage sales had been for me. So I had a big stack of trades and everything to take in, stuff I necessarily didn't need for the collection, to fund for the stuff that I did want for the collections. Get the two other games out the way first. These were all from one vendor with some trade. I didn't pay anything for these, all trade credits. So, and most of these I actually already owned, and I'll explain that. Phantom Hourglass on the DS, complete in box. Pokemon White version 2, complete in box. All these are complete in box. There you go. Mario Party 7, Mario Party 4, Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle 2, however you want to say it, and Skies of Arcadia Legends. Now, out of all these, the only ones I didn't own already were these two. These were the only ones I didn't own. So what in the world? Why are you trading in to these other games? Well, as part of my yard sale thing that I have going on, which I can explain more in depth to in the garage sale video that'll be next. But the Mario Party 7, Mario Party 4, and Metal Gear Solid, I actually needed the manual for this, so I took the manual out, put it in the one I have, so I can have a complete copy. Then this will be sold or traded off. Then 4, I needed the box, so now I have the box and I have a disc-only copy that'll be sold or traded off. And Mario Party 7, I needed the manual, so and the box and game and extra inserts I have will be sold off. The same with these. I have them, so these are also being traded or sold away. So why would I trade in games just to get other games to trade away? Well, basically the vendor didn't have anything else that I wanted within a price range that I thought was acceptable for the games that I wanted to trade for. The stuff I'll get into was marked up really high, so even though I'm trading toward it, just the value wasn't there for getting the game. I could get it cheaper somewhere else, or they just didn't have anything I wanted for the collection. So the second best thing was to take all those trades that people aren't really interested in, the games and stuff that you trade into them, and put it into stuff that people are interested in getting and wanting to own and trade for. So that was my mentality behind it. So like I said, you go from, I get to complete some copies in my collection, and then I have all these, the disc-only Mario Party 4, Mario Party 7, and another Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes, and then the 2 DS games to actually trade into stuff that I do want for the collection, or sell off to get funds for stuff that I want to the collection. So that was my mentality and thinking behind it and why I did that. No, it's probably stupid, but it seemed like the best thing to do. And the other reason I did that, I'll do that for short time. Last pickup, the best pickup for me, my most favorite, other than Skies of Arcadia Legends is up there, but I'm also going for every single Metroid game for my collection. Only need one more for that, US, by the way, US stuff, not like overseas Japan and everything, versions of games. And that was the Metroid Player's Choice Complete in Box on the NES, yellow box. Couldn't find one. Didn't have one that I could see. The only one that was there was one that was sealed, and of course I'm not paying all that kind of money for that. So unfortunately, that one had to wait. But also another one I'm doing that for is the Castlevania series. I'm trying to get every Castlevania game physical because I just love those two franchises. They're up there with my favorites. That and Xenoblade, Resident Evil. And one that I needed for the collection was Castlevania on the Game Boy Advance, the classic NES series entry on GBA. I had it sitting there with a copy. The only other last Game Boy Advance game I need, complete in box, Aria of Sorrow, was sitting there with this. So I tried to work out a bundle deal. We just could not make it happen. So I ended up just walking away with this one. Box is a little dinged up and pressed in, but other than that, everything's in there. It's a beautiful copy of the game. So let's get into the convention, my thoughts of it, how I thought things went, Portland, and etc., how all that is going and went down. Again, and this isn't to offend anyone about if you're a big city person or anything, but first and foremost, Portland is just not my jam, man. So anyone who lives in there or anything, I'm sorry. It's just when I arrived at nighttime, I left Friday night so I could stay at a hotel and just attend the event Saturday and drive back home. This is about 4.5 hours away or so drive. So driving into Portland at night, it didn't seem too bad. Like driving into a city, traffic wasn't too bad because it was later at night. It was around 10:30 or so pulling up to my hotel. So nothing too bad. Going to my hotel room, and it's a piece of crap. I mean, I'm right beside the venue, but it is just like a trash hotel. One of my bathroom door and everything was broken off the hinges. Didn't have hot water in it to even take a shower in. It was cold water. My bed had like burn marks all inside of the mattress or the covers, and the pillows were horrible on it. I could smell nothing but like, it seemed like weed would leak into my room, and that stuff is nauseating to me. I can't stand the smell of anything like that. So it was just a rough night, along with like the rail car driving up and down the street right beside my hotel every 20 minutes. Clink, 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 clink. It was a rough night's sleep, you guys. It was not enjoyable. I don't know how anyone can enjoy that kind of city life with stuff like that. So the night didn't go well. And then when I woke up, I was greeted by a guy shooting up drugs inside of him right outside my door, just shooting up needles into himself. Smelled like feces everywhere. And then while walking down to the venue, it's all I could smell. It just smelled like crap everywhere. That's what it is. It just was trashy, and I did not like it. Like, I'm a small town or small city kind of country guy. Big city is not the life for me, and I'm a slow guy, so I don't like the speed and rush of everything. It is not my vibe. It is not me. So sorry if I'm dissing your city or anything, but I don't see how anyone would want to live in big cities or anything like that. It is not worth it. Just so you can have a couple more stores or something. Nah, it's not for me. But the venue, like going inside, was really nice. It had very good accommodations as far as food and everything. I felt like walking through the expo itself was very spacious. They had some pretty wide hallways to be able to navigate and walk through everything. And stuff was sectioned off to where it never really felt congested up until you got into a seller's booth. At that point, yeah, and you're shoulder to shoulder trying to get room and get in there to look around. But that's to be expected. But they did have some kind of layout flaws as far as the booths being next to each other, like some of the bigger ones. Most of them would do the kind of concept of just having a main table, then two tables going out. So you got your kind of U looking shape going. But so would the other vendor beside them. They would have the U shape going. So when you had both parallel tables beside each other, they were putting them so close, you only had space for one person to go down it. And no one could really go down it and look at the other vendor. So the one person who goes down is getting to look at both vendors' different tables. And then if they want to get out, if anyone's in their way, I mean, you're blocked and you're boxed in. You ain't getting out unless people are nice and like let you go in and out of stuff. So I didn't experience that, I don't think, at too many games. They kind of had some room between the booths to really navigate around. But again, this was years ago, and everything's bigger now, like all these conventions. But for the most part, it was just very spacious, and that was not an issue. Normally you get an issue with being hot and it heated in these things. At least during the hours I was there, felt fine, felt good. Actually missed pack. I forgot to bring the shirt that I wanted to wear, a nice Metroid shirt that I've been itching to wear to a convention, and I forgot to pack it. I packed 2 long sleeve shirts, so I was in there with a long sleeve shirt on, and I felt fine, more than comfortable. But the big issue with it, and it's something that might actually deter me from really making the effort and the trip to go out to any game conventions again, was the pricing. And I know just from seeing other people go to shows, like in their videos and stuff like that, other content creators, it just seems like over the past years, the vendor prices on games have just gotten really out of hand. They're marking things up like crazy. And I left one out here for an example. Where's it at? Both of these. Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle-earth 2 and 99 Nights. It has a price tag of $20 on it. Battle for Middle-earth 2 has a $25 tag on it if you can see it. Battle for Middle-earth, like you can see selling on eBay for 15 bucks for a copy of it. And 99 Nights like 10 to 12 you can get it for. So that is a really big markup for those games. Now that's not what I paid for them. It's because I was able to talk down on both of them. But even at the talk down price, I paid over what I could have got it for somewhere else. So it's like, what's the point of me in going to this stuff when I can get it cheaper somewhere else? It's like the whole thing with why Amazon has done so good with some things. Like, why would people go out to get things when you can get it for a better price somewhere else? Especially when it just comes like to collecting things. And I'm all about wanting to support small business and everything. I also don't want to get ripped off either. And I know they're probably marking things up just so they know there's going to be discussions to be talked down. But some of this stuff was just insane. We're talking, I think one of the most egregious ones I saw was a cart only. Alex Turnermates gave me a list of stuff to look out for him. So it was, he wanted Castlevania Legends, a cart only. Expensive game to kind of get. That's around that 160, 180 range, even just for the cart. And I'm seeing people selling the cart, asking for 225, 250 bucks just for the cart only. I had also went in there with hopes of trading games that I had for other systems for the GameCube. So I would take a copy of Prince of Persia Warrior Within for the Xbox and a copy of Prince of Persia Warrior Within for the PS2. Try to trade them both to get a copy of the GameCube version. That was like my theories behind it. Like, sure, people would do that. And I just couldn't find any copies to do that with, except for one game. I have a PS2 complete in box copy of Def Jam Fight for New York. So I was looking for complete in box copies of Fight for New York on the GameCube. Now, at one point, the GameCube copy of it was the most sought after one. Now it's the PS2 one. The PS2 has jumped in price, and that is the one that people are, I guess, going after right now. And I was like, well, that should be an easy trade. I'll even take the loss on it. Even for even trade for a Def Jam Fight for New York copy. Maybe I didn't look good enough while I was there, or where they were already gone, but the only copy of Fight for New York I could find, someone had marked at 180 bucks with the manual missing. So it was already overpriced by about 30 bucks. And it was missing the manual. Like, complete in box copies go for about 140 to 150. And they had it marked up to 180. And I was like, man, because I was looking to do the trade. And from the vibe I got with him, he wouldn't have even traded that for a complete in-box copy on the PS2. So the whole point of these expos, I thought, was to be able to go and get deals on things. Now, of course, the stores, they got to make their money and pay their workers and everything too. But it just makes me realize what's the point of going to them anymore? Unless you're going with a group of friends to have a good time, I can get it. There's fun to be had. But if you were like me and you're just going because you're going to try to find deals on games and stuff for your collection, it really seemed like a waste of time. Like I had a lot more money I wanted to spend, but stuff was marked up so high, it wasn't worth it. So after about, I remember too many games we had gone for the weekend, when we would go there, and it seemed like each day I would find something else. Maybe on Sunday is the day you're supposed to be there to get all the deals. I don't know. But yeah, I think it seemed like a waste to me because I had invested, it was $130 for the hotel. And then you factor in my gas that I spent to go up there. So let's round that up to like $70 to give it an even 200. And then $40 for the ticket to get in. So $240 for me just to walk into the doors to see all these hiked up prices. Doesn't feel good. It's like, man, it seemed like I just wasted my time like doing it. Still had a good time, but could have stayed here and bought $240 worth of games online that I needed for the collection instead of driving out to it, because the doors opened at 9, I think, for general public, or 9:30, 9 or 9:30, can't remember. And I believe I left a little after 12 or 1 o'clock. It's all I needed. I was like, man, there is nothing here that I want to spend the rest of my money on. So who are the conventions for? Like I said, if you're hanging out with friends and everything, it could be a good time just going out. If you like looking at like relics and stuff that are collected, they put on cool displays and stuff. But for me, like my $240 to get in there was so I could find games I needed for the collection. Maybe it was just a hit and miss kind of thing. Like I really wanted Wii U stuff that just didn't have any. And the stuff that I wanted to add to the collection, just could not find it, or it was just way too overpriced. Just beyond means to even put any effort into getting it. So I could see it working for, like you see guys like Retro Rick going there. They can throw a big amount of money at a table to get a great deal on stuff. But they're just he's trying to get inventory and stuff for his store. So it's not like, how about us as the collectors where we're just getting maybe 1 or 2 things from a table? It's tougher to get a nice deal of a discount to where you're coming out, you felt good about what you paid, or because you're more than likely you're still overpaying for what the retail is. So, or maybe it's just me being greedy, like I'm selfish. Like I had it in my mind that like us gamers, we all go here because, we support the hobby, we support each other, and the vendors and everyone are the same way too. Here we're going to be hooking you gamers up. I mean, it's what we see all over YouTube. Everyone's getting deals, but it's just not the case. Like couldn't get them, and a lot of places we're not even taking buys or trades or anything like that. And when I got to the table that finally took them, like that's why I really had to go all in for the investment into the games that I'll be getting rid of, because no other tables wanted to take anything. So like the trade thing seems to be kind of dead, unless maybe that's a last day thing. So I don't know. It was just interesting. So I do not know if I'm ever going to be going to a big one again, or if I do, what the goal of it will be, or the mindset I should be having going in there, because I really don't want to overpay for stuff. I'm so used to getting things at good prices now at yard sales and everything, and I kind of forgot of what maybe the real world's like. But man, it's crazy, because I was just at a game store a couple months ago to pick up some stuff, and it seems like the game store, when they take the inventory from their store to the expo, like it's getting marked up even higher, even at the expo. It just kind of weird. So what do you guys think? Have you gone to expos recently? Are they your thing? Am I being too negative about it or the experience? Or is that just the way things are these days and people have gotten used to it? And even if the prices are hiked up, maybe it's just because you can go there and find stuff like there's little Samsons there. Not every game store is going to have a little Samson just sitting in it. So for big time purchases like that, where you need to go and you really want to get hands on it to inspect it, Pokemon box and stuff like that, and that's where I could see the conventions are probably the way to go. Just so you can get your hands on it, you know it's probably going to be there. Because like I said, that's not going to be at everyone's game store. Not going to be there. So, I don't know. Like I said, what do you guys think? I still had a good time. I was happy with the stuff I was able to get and add to the collection. Wanted to add a lot more though, so we'll see. We'll see. Maybe in the future, we're probably moving back to the East Coast here next year, so too many games may be in my future again. So it could be fun to kind of compare West Coast side of things to if East Coast, how the vendors are over there. So we'll see. Until then, the next video will be the epic yard sales that I had throughout the summertime. Kind of go over that, what I did, what my goals were. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.